Alright guys, I got my seal changed out. I don't know if you can see there's a little chamfer right there in the cover. The face of that seal needs to be below that chamfer. It's very important to make sure it's even all the way around so it sits well. I've already changed my gaskets out. I put a little oil on that seal to help slide it on. And I'll show you this seal here now. These seals go one way, so it's very important. What I do is when I put these in, I find the one that goes where it goes, where it belongs, and I start it like this. And anywhere there's a place like this, I'll start it but not push it down all the way and get to the end of it. Okay, and then I'll go along and push down. You don't want to just push down and slide because it'll stretch it. Then it won't fit right and all that kind of stuff. So it's very important to make sure this is all cleaned out good and that it's down even where it belongs. Okay, now there's 4 points on here, well actually 6, where we're going to put some RTV, where like right in this area where the head meets the block on both sides. It's like I need a little more cleaner right there. Okay, and then there'll be a little bit here, a little bit here, and then here and here. And I'll show you what I've done here. I'll get this all wiped off with brake parts cleaner. You see I put a little dab there, a little dab there, a little dab there, there, and the same thing on that side of the head. Okay, so now I'm ready to put this together. So it's too hard for me to set this up for you to see it, so I'm going to just get this thing in before my silicone starts to dry, my RTV. It's fairly cool this morning. It's in the probably the low to mid 70s right now. Of course, it's 7 o'clock in the morning, but I want to hurry up and get this on. So let me get it on. Now, this has to sit on a couple dowel pins. You don't want to use your bolts to draw it in because you could risk cracking it. I just usually tap it. Oops. Of course, I usually do this with 2 hands. Tap it in until I feel like it's snug. And then I go back to the bolt sequence, which these bolts, I've done it a few times so I know where they go, or at least I think I do. But I usually take a picture of the timing cover with all the bolts in it so that I know exactly where they belong and I don't put one in the wrong place. Now I will start all these by hand and then I'll go around and make sure, like especially over here, make sure none of these wiring harnesses have got between the two, because I have to tell you, it's happened before. Now I'll get all these started and I'll run these in with my little Bosch cordless impact, and once I'm happy they're all snugged up, we'll go through the torque sequence. The torque sequence is really goofy on this. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I'll probably screw it up. Basically, I believe it starts in the middle with the smaller bolts and works your way out, but I can't remember for sure. That's what books are for. All the things that we try to remember, right? You just can't do it. Anyhow, I'll get these all started, get them snugged down, and I'll bring you back. Don't forget the 4 bolts that go up underneath here, because if you don't put them in now, after you get the fan shroud in and all that stuff, it's very, very difficult to get to. Right now it's pretty easy, as long as you're willing to stand on your head, but at least you can get to them. And I could put a ratcheting wrench on these pretty easy and get them snugged up, but I got all the bolts torqued in for the timing cover, and I usually try and put these bolts in before I torque it down, but yeah, just didn't work that way this time. Well, that's hard to do one-handed. I'm going to swap hands here. Yeah, there we go. Anyways, so all this is in pretty good. The next thing I'll do is I'll go ahead and put the bracket back on this one stud here with the transmission line, and I'll plug in the crank sensor before I get too far along, because I'll pretty easily bury that. I tuck the wiring back here so that there's no chance of it getting, you can see here, no chance of it getting pinched. It's very important when you push these up, you want to hear that click. I'll do that again, you can hear it. There it is. Man, I'll tell you what, if you don't get that clicked on, you put it all back together, you drive down the road, you could get a drivability concern. You'd be chasing for a while wondering what went wrong. So, you know, sometimes the devil's in the details. It's all about taking your time being thorough. Now when I'm checking for wires around here and I want to see how this is, I take a mirror and a flashlight and I just go around the whole entire thing. Make sure there's nothing that somehow got in the way, or, you know, I didn't notice, or just to make sure everything's the way it should be. So, alright, let's get that bracket in there, we'll get the damper in there, and before I go too far, I'll get that new power steering pump in there, because that's kind of a pickle. It's kind of tight over there, but alright, let's get at it. Alright, I'm getting ready to put this damper pulley in, but they want you to put silicone down in this keyway. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's already silicone in there from, of course, when it was put together last time. But it's kind of a tough place to get to, so I use a little screwdriver. A little pocket screwdriver like this you get from the tool man or whatever. I guess they come in some of the Craftsman screwdriver sets, I'm told. Anyways, I use the sharp edge of it, and I kind of go in at an angle in this corner, just like so. And that really helps break it loose. You see that piece down there ready to come out? There you go. And then I do that all the way around. Excuse me. Anywhere there's pieces like this, I'll take the edge of a screwdriver, a real sharp edge, and scrape that. It seems to come off fairly good. I'll take brake parts cleaner, clean it all up. There's a bunch down in here too. And I want my washer, you can see where the washer goes on this. It doesn't come out all the way, but I want that clean here all the way around, so wherever that washer lays, it's going to sit correctly. So I'll use this screwdriver and clean all this out, and then I'll take one of them cookies, we call it, my die grinder, and clean all this up real good. So I'll show you once it's all clean. All cleaned up and ready to go. Now we need to apply some more silicone in here, some RTV. I don't put it in the front because it'll just push it out, so I put it in the back. Come from the back here, put it in, so when I slide it on, it shoves it into that keyway. Now I'm going to use the RTV that comes with the timing cover set, and it comes in this little plastic tube. So here's what I do to make good use of the silicone. I just put a little cotter pin on here. I just roll it up. Let's see if I can get that there. Nah, it's not going to work. Anyways, I just take and roll it up like this. It's hard to do one-handed, but I'll roll it up and then I can just keep twisting it, and it'll twist it out there, and I can get most out, and it's much easier. At least that's what I think. So I'm gonna go on the back side here and get some in there. I'll show you in a minute. So is you're able to put a thumb here and still crank on it like this, and you roll it up real nice, and it comes out nice and controlled and even. Makes it a little bit easier to manage and not make a huge mess and all that kind of nonsense. Now, I don't push any of that down in there. I just make sure it's not going to be a mess, and then I just shove it on in. So let's get at it. Alright, maybe lined up in here. Now, a lot of guys will use crank bolt to run that thing in, and I don't do that. They make a tool, which I have. What it is basically a threaded arbor that you can thread into the bolt hole in the end of the crank, and then it stays stationary, and then there's a nut that you run down the arbor, and it presses in the damper pulley. Most times you can tap these in pretty easy. Just using a rubber mallet. Takes a little while to get it in, but never had any troubles with that. Only problems I've ever had is when it wasn't clean enough. Okay, alright. Get my bolt, get her torqued in, and go from there. Well, I really underestimated this power steering hose. This is a new one. Remember the old one I replaced? It was pretty cruddy. And I was going to put it in, getting ready to put it on the power steering pump before I put it in place. I opened up the package that the hose came in, and apparently they sent me some legislature from Congress on how to install this. So there's one. Don't worry. We got 3 languages here. We should be able to understand something here. The second page. And a third page. Of which, one sentence of all of this crap. Oh heck, that's a 2-pager, and that's front and back. One sentence of all this legislature from Congress applies to us. All of that to tell you, be sure to put oil on this O-ring and the one that goes here before you put it in that hole. We get this? Alright, let me get it together. Well, it sure don't look like I've made much headway, but I did get my power steering hose in and my pump, and I gotta tell you, I've been dreading that power steering pump ever since I took it off. It's very, very tight, tough to get to, hard to line up and hold and get your fingers in there, get started, but nonetheless, it's in. Now I got this aftermarket hose, not a Ford hose, and of course it's missing a bracket, and you know, it was less than great. This is why I like factory parts, not aftermarket. But I took one of those insulated clamps. You know, it was too small, but I rebent it and still had the rubber around it so it would fit this line, and I drilled a hole and put a self-tapping bolt in, so at least it'll hold it where it belongs. But yeah, I haven't made a whole lot of progress. I mean, I've got, unfortunately, about 2 hours in it right now. But I guess the hardest part's over, so I'll get the front of the engine dressed here real quick and start getting on the valve covers. So I'll bring you along. I guess we ain't done with gremlins yet. Should pay attention to this. I checked this bearing before I ordered parts. The daggum bearing's locked up. Must be from sitting on the concrete floor, I guess. Must not have been long for the world to begin with, so I'll be replacing that one too. And I got the grooved one, but yeah, that kind of bugs me. Can't believe that. It didn't even feel like it had a bad bearing. Well, stranger things have happened. I'll get another one. Did the same thing on the tensioner. I'm going to do the same thing on the water pump here. They've sit around a little while and got a little crusty. I'm going to run it on the old wire wheel on the bench grinder, get her all cleaned up, and get it all back together. I fell in a burning ring of fire. Went down, down, down. The flame got higher. Burn, burn, burn. The ring of fire. Well, I'm gonna get this sucker done. That sucker seated in there before I run my impact. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Get my torque wrench. If you guys ever use a torque wrench like this, make sure you get it on the right setting. You gotta listen close for it to click off. Hang on. Hear it again. Oh yeah. Almost. Let's double check them. Oh yeah, that's it. Yep. Oh boy. That's exactly right every time. Zing! Another new pulley. Put that baby on there. I got all my pulleys cleaned up on the bench grinder. So they all look pretty good. I got a man and you know just watching. Okay, pretty hot out. I think I'm gonna have me a belt. Thought I was getting a drink, didn't you? Let's see. How does this go? I think, if I remember right, it's tucked down in this way. These serpentine belts are like cruel combination locks. Especially when you take them off a while ago. See how close I can get to this old bugger. Well, dadgum. Alright, we're back to silicone again. Right there where the timing cover meets the head. Got a little, get a little dab there on the top. Here. And a little dab on the bottom. Handy dandy cutter pin. Just a little bit's all we need. I'm gonna start these by hand. Uh-oh. Get these all started by hand, then I'll run them in with a 1/4 inch ratchet. Bring you back once we're tight. Alright guys, I've got it all together as much as I need to get it started. So let's see if it's quiet or it is not. Let's see what it does. Got my wife inside, she's going to crank it for us. Hey, I want you to crank that and watch your oil pressure gauge. Tell me, it may just be a light. Just turn the key on first. Is there an oil pressure light? Yeah, an oil can? Yeah. Alright, so you're going to watch for that to go out when you start it. Alright, start it. Go out. That's pretty quiet. Give it a little throttle. Turn that up. Well, I'm going to call that a success. Now we'll finish buttoning it up, get the fan clutch in the shroud, and start air cleaner and all the fluid. I'll tell you guys, I think that's pretty good. I'll leave you with this. I'll give you a final driving video, but this is probably enough on this one. Like I always say, like we're doing, give us some thumbs up. We appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and leave your comments down below. But I think we got another one that's pretty good here. Alright guys, catch you on the next one. And it sure does sound awful good and quiet. I like that. And we replaced this bearing, that idler. We didn't replace that one. The alternator's charging, so that's good. Hey, turn the air on. Probably don't know how to turn that air conditioning on. Get it?
Yeah.
See if our compressor's coming on. See it right down there, the AC compressor clutch. Is it getting cold? Boy, what a difference from when the first video I showed you guys, huh? Alright, I'm gonna get this thing the rest of the way back together.